I'm Kitty, and this is Kitty Chronicles Podcast, where Gen Xers cuss and discuss dating do's and don'ts. My co-host today is the captivating Kelly Cougar.
Hello, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, all you cool cats. Last week, we discussed looks and the attraction and the importance of mate shopping, and we discussed the dating apps profiles. And we can like spend a lot of time on this subject, I believe, but I think we covered mainly first looks, meeting out there in the wild, and also meeting on dating apps. And I think that kind of covers both the things that people are that we're doing mate shopping trying to do here. So that's kind of where we're at. Today's topic is the meet and greet. So it's the next thing after you meet somebody on or you match with somebody on a dating app. We're trying to get to that meet and greet, right? And again, I diving in again. I don't need a hug, but
it's hugs. She likes hugging me.
No, I just need you to hug me. No, research purposes. So getting back out there, I'm seeing the same things that I've seen consistently for 6 months, and for me, for us girls, it's like pulling teeth to get you to ask me out, to actually get to that face and face to face.
The forever texting.
Hi, how's your day?
They text forever and you never meet them. It's like all they do is just text.
Well, or I have found that if you don't match with someone, start a conversation going back and forth a little bit, and they're actually engaging in something, if you don't get to the meet and greet part within 24 hours to, let's say, 3 days, you might as well hang it up, because they're either out, on there talking to multiple women, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. Or, like me, I'm not on there all the time. Like, I'll get on, I'll do my thing, I'll swipe. I'll interact with people that I'm interacting with or somebody new, whatever. And then I get off, and then I'm going about my day, and I'm I'm not checking in all the time.
I have people from 16, I've been divorced for about 16, 17 years. I've had people from that long ago who still, every once in a while, will send me a text message. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, what the fuck? I have never met you in person, but every once in a while, I still get a text message.
Right. So what is your, what have you had success with once you have matched on a dating app?
I've had more failures than I've had success with. It's probably the best to keep it coffee. Meet someplace for coffee or someplace like a very neutral place. I honestly believe after all the bad first meet and greets I've had, keeping it simple, keeping it just less than an hour, maybe a half hour, just kind of, hey, blah blah blah, is there an interest there, and go about it. I mean, I've walked into fancy dinners and flowers and stuffed animals, stuff like that, and I was like, I felt bad because I had no connection with this person, and then I felt guilty afterwards. I'm trying to figure out an exit plan. He keeps making more plans. Yeah. And I'm just like, no, I made a mistake to do this fancy and do this much in the beginning. I needed to find,
So that's fair. So that gets me back to my original thing that I. So the problem is from the match to the actual in-person, date, and we talked about this, on the last podcast. It should not be a date, guys.
No.
Do not ask me out to dinner on a first date. I don't care if we've bantered back and forth with texting. I don't care if we've gotten off that and we've talked a little bit on the phone, which some people like to do. I typically FaceTime? Or FaceTime. Yeah, you can do FaceTime. I'm not comfortable with FaceTime, and it's not that I'm uncomfortable with somebody seeing me in real life. And I know people tend to want to do that just to make sure that, again, you match your photos and all that kind of stuff. and it's hard to see, someone on paper in 2D. 3D is much better, right?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that is still a waste of time, and let me tell you why. So I get these guys that will inbox me once they've matched, and well, hey, beautiful, that's nice, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like to be told that they're beautiful? But I don't know you. Okay, I don't know you. You don't need to say hey beautiful, because let me just tell you, when I see a hey beautiful, it's usually somebody that wants me for sex.
Yes.
I mean, it just is. 9 times out of 10, that's the guy. That's their approach. And or there's the approach of, well, how's your day or whatever, or we'll match and crickets. It's like, I'm sorry, what are you here for? Like, we matched. You liked me first. I hit I swiped, in your direction, and then you're showing up on the top, and this is just Facebook dating. You're showing up at the top that, hey, we've matched, and then it's like you don't even want to reach out to me.
It's either an ego thing; they want to see how people they can match with, or it's
what is that?
They could be married and stuff like that.
I think there's a lot of that.
Trust me, there's a lot.
There's a lot of, well, that goes back to being honest. Look, let's just talk about
guys on these sites.
Let's assume that you're being honest and you really, again, like Kitty Chronicles says, you're out there looking for real love in real life and a real love connection. So let's just assume that. So what do you need to do better to get what you want? So that's what I don't understand. If you really want that, and if you really match with me, why aren't you at least saying hello? There's a lot of some of these apps, and Facebook dating is one of them. Where they'll give you some questions to ask or something like that, like say this or whatever, and options, and you can send that to reach out to that person and start that engaging.
Right. But here's the thing: if you're on a dating app and you think you can get matched with somebody, check it once in a while. Now, granted, maybe the excuse is, I'm not on this dating app. I didn't get a notification. Now, they do allow for notifications to be sent to you immediately when you match.
Yes.
So if you opted not to do that for whatever reason, because you don't want people going off at a bad time, whatever, that's great. That's fine.
But then check back in.
If you are on a dating app, you need to check once in a while, once every 24, 48 hours, because we match with you and we're going to okay, we're not going to wait forever.
Well, and to your point, I think a lot of things that we've talked about this many times before, girls are expecting the guy to reach out first, especially if you liked me and I went ahead and swiped on you. It's like you liked me first. So in the traditional sense, that what most of us Gen Xers are used to is the guy, approaching. So you still have the approach with online dating. And so I think most of us, maybe not all of us, expect you to inbox us first. And again, hey beautiful isn't an awful thing. It's certainly a nice way to approach somebody.
We hear it a lot.
And we
of course, we are beautiful. Every woman is beautiful. We all know
Skippy.
that.
Damn Skippy.
Yeah, so we're all beautiful. So tell us something else.
Well, not even that. It's
be genuine.
Here be genuine, yes. Genuine. But the point that I'm trying to get at here is that what you're trying to do is start an engagement with someone. In other words, you want to try to start a banter that's going to lead you to saying, hey, I'd like to meet you in real life.
I love a good banter.
I love a good banter.
I love a good banter.
I know, but not too much. A little banter that gets you there. It's like so going back to the steps to get us to the meet and greet. So if you inbox me, hey beautiful, I'm gonna think one of two things. I'm gonna think, you know how many guys have said that, and all they usually want is sex. I know I already said that, but so that's gonna kind of put me off just a little bit. I'm like, oh God, here's another one. And so what do I have to say? Because I'm a nice person. I'm a good girl. I'm Christian. I've grown up with good, values. I'm going to say, oh, thank you, sir. you know?
Because we're being polite. Because we
Because-
are always taught to take a compliment and say thank you.
Right. So how many times
Which is
have you
stupid.
how many times have you said thank you?
Way too many times.
Okay. And how many times did the conversation go? Did he say something back?
Probably sent me a dick pic right afterwards.
Well, there's that. But what I'm getting at is that doesn't give hey beautiful or you're so pretty or any of those things, which is a nice compliment, but a compliment only doesn't give a volley. It doesn't give a volley of banter back and forth. So I'm going to say thank you.
Like this. Here we go.
And then,
here we go.
and then
a volley like this. I throw it to her. Throw it back
and then I throw it back.
Back and forth.
Right.
Back
See, that's
and
how
forth.
that works. Women do that so much easier. I don't know what it is. And again, I know texting is hard. It's hard to, figure out what, how they're coming across. Because again, I could be way off. There could be a really great guy out there that really just, wow, hey, beautiful. You're so beautiful. And so nothing wrong with that, but it's hard to understand intention in texting. So it's really difficult, and you have to sort of choose your words or your questions wisely. And to me, it's like, okay, if you say, hey, beautiful, and I say, oh, that, thank you. And cricket. Like, okay, are you waiting for me to then say,
what's happening, hot stuff?
What's happening?
What's happening, hot stuff?
Or hey, handsome. I mean, that kind of banter to me goes when you start seeing somebody, and you text that morning text or whatever. So this, to me, I don't think anybody should lead with that. It's nice, but it can be misconstrued. Is my point. Maybe not every woman would thinks my way, but I think a lot of women do that I've talked to. So while it's nice, try to think of something better that's actually going to engage you in a banter back and forth where you can keep the conversation going. This how's your day? Well, my day was shit. Okay. But I'm trying to put myself forward. I'm not going to tell you about the bitch at work and this, my kids, off the reservation.
So what should they say?
Well, I'll tell you.
What do you
think? Let me see what you think. What do you think? What would you say if you were a guy and the girl that you liked just swiped left on you? What would and you're like really into her? Like,
I don't
like,
know.
wow, she's really pretty. I don't want to screw this up.
I have a really hard time thinking like a guy. Let's see. I have more brain cells than that. That's why. Maybe this. Maybe something about what are you looking? Maybe what are you looking for? Maybe finding out what are you looking for? What do you want to have? Such as, are you just looking for somebody just to date? Are you looking for something long term? Maybe upfront and honest, just hey, what are your intentions?
Well, but I like that. What are your intentions? What are your intentions with my daughter, young man?
What are your intentions with, just get an idea and stuff, everything like that. Because honestly, if
we're supposed to say that in the stats, though. They're supposed to say what they're looking for, but they lie.
They lie.
I'm looking for a long-term relationship. Nope.
I'm looking for a long-term relationship with 20 other women.
That is some bullshit. Yeah. So,
see, it's hard for me to think like a guy. It's very hard for me to think like a guy. So maybe a guy should give us a suggestion on what they think should lead with, besides saying, "Hey, beautiful." What's worked for you guys? What's worked for you besides "Hey, beautiful," "Hey, nice eyes," "Hey, nice something or other"? What's worked for you to get the conversation going? Because,
well, I can tell you what's worked for me.
Okay, what's worked for you?
So, it's really quite honestly, it's really the perfect question because, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. But my question, and I've started engaging first.
Yeah.
Like if I swipe on a guy and we match, and I'm like, okay, he's got all the things going. He looks good on paper. He's 6 foot tall. He lives, within a half an hour range.
Yeah.
he's attractive in his pictures. Hopefully those are all accurate and new or fresh, whatever, current. So if I'm really digging a guy, I've learned that on a dating app you can't just wait for them.
That's true.
You can't. So, but you don't want to come across as um, needy, or what's the word I'm looking for? Desperate. Like there's a part of me that's going, all right.
Honestly, I think women our age
reach out to me. Like, if
Yeah.
if you don't, sorry, you're lost. Like, I have that attitude, but at the same time, that's my own fault. I should be just as engaging. If I want what I want and I'm looking for, love, I'm looking for my mate.
Yeah.
At this
Shopping
day and
for
age,
mates.
at this time, there's nothing wrong with a woman approaching, like we were given the homework, two weeks
Yeah.
ago. So there's nothing wrong with me reaching out. So
maybe that's why the guys who don't respond once you match, they're just waiting for the woman to start, because
it's possible.
they might be a little bit insecure. They're like, okay, I matched, and now they have
I don't know what to say.
You have no clue what to do.
So that was my thought process. So I thought, okay. So somebody told me, I'm not going to take full credit for this, and I think it was a guy, and it may have been he actually asked me on a dating app. I'm not sure, but I've used it ever since. So my first question is, if you could have me and 4 other fantasy guests, dead or alive, to over for dinner tonight, who would you invite, and what would you be making us for dinner? So you wouldn't believe the things I've gotten.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes for fun interaction, simply because if they answer, especially if they answer and give you nice details, then it tells a lot about the person. For example, if they say, well, I'd have my grandparents there, or my parents there. A lot of our parents are deceased, at our age too. Because what does that tell me about you? It tells me you're a family guy. You could have any 4 people in the world that are alive. Any 4. And you picked 2 of them, you picked your grandparents or your parents. Wow, that tells me a lot about you. So I like that. You're a family guy. You miss your grandparents. You had a good relationship with them, or whatever. That tells me a lot about you. If you pick, a lot of people pick famous people, or it's super intelligent people. They'll pick, Einstein, or they'll pick Tesla, or
honestly, I would pick intelligent or political people.
Right. Well, again, they pick political, so it tells you a little bit about them in politics. And politics there's a big divide right now. So this question tells you an enormous amount of things. So even if you don't wind up talking about the 4 people that they picked, you can then talk about the dinner. Like, oh, why fish, or why steak, or why this? And then they could say, oh, I like Italian food, or whatever it is. You can at least start a banter talking about things that interest them. Because they're going to tell you the people that they're interested in, and they're going to tell you the food that they're interested in.
See, I would be answering, I'd be ordering takeout, because the stress of cooking for all that food for all these people would kill me. It's just like, yeah.
I've had guys say we're cooking out burgers and dogs. Like, you don't have to make it fancy, and you don't have to make it impressive. I just, usually with the 4 people that you choose, again, I had a guy that literally, you can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. Told me the last names of 4 people. One was Washington. One was Tesla. One was, I forget. There was 4, very smart people, which is fine. Franklin. It's like, didn't even say Ben Franklin, George Washington. I've never had somebody just give me 4 answers and I'm making spaghetti. It was like the shortest answer. I'm like, okay, what are we going back to the E word? No effort. No effort. The guys that I've actually, with this question, that I've actually met or even started dating for a little while, would respond with who they were, why they had them at the table. There are a little bit as to why they had them at the table. Okay. So they're already telling me details about themselves, and then very descriptive, I'll be making this. As I had this one guy recently, it was like, he had a 5-course meal. I'm making this for the first course, and I'm doing that. So it tells me he's either a foodie, or which is fine, good.
Yeah.
I love food. Don't we all love food?
Love
I mean, is that one of the last food and sex and one of the things that we're trying that we can still enjoy, right? So
I know the older we get, it's hard to enjoy some foods.
so I know. So what I get with this question is, at least I can see if you're putting effort into your answer. If you didn't put effort, that guy that gave me basically a sentence with just last names, I didn't respond because I'm like, no effort, So bye, Felicia. Like, the guy that gives me a decent answer, then I will try to, oh, okay, you picked this person. Why them? So then you can go back and forth and back and forth. Oh, I love, pasta, or I love tacos, or, hey, you want
I love the fact I didn't have to cook it.
It's taco, right? It's Taco Tuesday. You want to meet for, whatever.
I love the fact I didn't have to clean up afterwards.
Right, but
That's
with the right person that's putting in the effort. Those are the only people that I want to match with anyway.
Yeah.
It weeds the weeds. What are we trying to do here? Weed the weeds.
Weeds the weeds.
So we weed the weeds that way, and then you can get a good banter going back and forth. And then you start, like a recent guy, we start talking about music. And because the fun thing about it is the guys I like the most, and this is a rarity, will give me a great answer. And then they'll say, who would you choose? Yeah. So they lob it back to me. How's that go again? We lob it back and forth.
Lob it.
Okay. They lob it back to me and they ask me the same question.
Yeah.
That shows me that they're interested in my answers, that they're interested in me. How many times have I gone out with a guy that doesn't ask me anything about myself? I've had to bring it up, things about myself, just in conversation. When a guy isn't asking you questions, ladies, if a guy's not asking you questions about yourself or your interests, he's not interested in you. He's interested in Kitty. Okay? Period. And it's just such a lesson that I've learned over the years. So if I'm looking for love, I'm not just looking for something casual. I want you to put the effort in and to ask me questions. So the guys that will lob that question back to me, you're getting bonus points. Like you're already in there because I've already matched with you, right? So I'm like, okay, he looks good on paper as far as that goes, his photographs and height, his stats, whatever are my minimal requirements, whatever they suppose may be. Does he smoke, whatever. Then he answers my question with effort. And that's gold. That's dating app gold. So that's where the good stuff happens. Once you get past that matching, you've got to have that banter. And then when you have the banter,
love the banter.
You just need a little bit, because I don't need to know everything about you. I don't necessarily even need to call you on the phone. Now, I've heard guys say the reason that they want a phone call is because they want to make sure that it's a girl.
Yeah.
And I get that because there's a lot of that stuff going around. And not only that, what does your voice sound like? I had a guy tell me, he's like, well, I just need to hear your voice. I need to just talk for a few minutes before we meet, because there was a date that I went out on. This girl had this little baby screeching voice, and I couldn't stand it. And he's like, I just got to make sure, or, women could have a low, deep voice. And it's just, again, in the interest of not wasting time, some of those things are important. And we've learned that along the way.
So that's when I think that FaceTime would also be a good thing, because
FaceTime for sure.
It's funny because I have never FaceTime a guy just to meet him. I don't know why. It's stupid. I haven't, but I've regretted it.
Well, I'm uncomfortable with me
FaceTime.
being in this little box, and I'm looking at me and what I'm seeing, what he's seeing.
Well,
and
it saves
like
time though.
No, I don't like the way I look.
Well, I also think it just saves a little bit of time for the meet and greet if you do that FaceTime thing to see if you actually want to go to the meet and greet, because
that's it's a very valid. But that's why, again, talking about the meet and greet is really something minimal.
Some people may not like my voice, because my voice isn't the best voice sometimes.
Well, mine either, or my delivery even. Yeah. It's not even that; it's how I come across. Or again, the cussing like a sailor thing.
Or maybe match.
That might turn some people off.
Maybe match, banter, talk on the phone, FaceTime, then meet and greets.
Any of those I agree with you. That's the range there, but it doesn't always have to take that. I felt like it's pulling teeth to get guys to go, okay, you want to meet on, you available Tuesday? Like, I almost feel like there should be this set thing, and it is the meet and greet. It is a 30-minute thing. You don't even have to spend any money. Like, you could say, let's meet at a park. I'll bring, some water or whatever, bring our own water, whatever. The meet and greet, there's no expectation. There's, the female is not expecting you to pay for anything.
Yeah.
Even if it's coffee or ice cream cone or something like that. You make the meet and greet, it has to be 30 minutes and you're out.
Yeah, I really think that it should
and you're done.
That should be Dutch. I mean, first date shouldn't be Dutch, but that should be Dutch. And also maybe not talk about meeting up again while you're there. Go your separate ways, and then somebody can message back, hey, I had a great time, blah, blah, blah. Would you like to do it again?
And you should always message back whether you want to or
yes.
whether you want
Give
them
them
or not.
Don't ghost.
Do not ghost.
Do not ghost.
But that's a whole other podcast as well.
But maybe, don't, where you're in this meet and greet, stuff like that, just keep it very casual, very thing. And don't talk about, hey, you want to meet up again? Just go your separate ways, and then
right.
Because that face-to-face thing, because some people be like, oh,
yeah,
he was looking at me and I had to say
yes. Sure, I want to see you again, and they don't.
Yeah.
And then they ghost you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what the meet and greet has guidelines. So you meet someplace for coffee or whatever, and you can always get water. So it can be free, and you go Dutch, right? Yeah. And then you limit it to 30 minutes. Most women can tell if they're eventually going to sleep with you within about 5 minutes.
That's true.
I mean, that's 15 minutes at the most. So certainly they can tell whether they're going to go out on another date with you.
Yeah.
So if you ask, and men usually can tell the same thing. What you tell in a meet and greet is, okay, she looks like her pictures. She's about the same weight that I thought she was based on her pictures. He's about the same height that looks like from his pictures. He didn't lie, and sometimes even if you think someone's attractive, in 2D, in 3D in real life, it's like something about it may not be their body or their face or anything. It just might be some expression that they have or some weird quirk, or I don't know. It could be 1,000 different things that in person with a half an hour space of time, you're able to figure that out. And it could be something that normally wouldn't be a deal breaker, but like I was telling before with the guy that his eyes were kind of like crazy alien looking too far apart, like something like that, where you could be like, okay, now I'm only committed to a half an hour. There's something I already is a turn off for me that I don't want to commit to a first date. And then you just be polite at the end of the date. Now, that's not to say that, hey, if you hit it off and you're like, I've hit it off with people right away, like instant chemistry. If you want to extend the date to the meet and greet, and if you're both into it, and then say, hey, let's go to dinner, then do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's not, but also I think that the pause is always good.
The pause is good.
Because sometimes you get wrapped up in the moment, and you're like, yeah, and then you go forward, and then it's just like, then you might regret it later on that you didn't take the pause.
Teddy called it something. What was it? Sunday morning quarterback, I think is what he called it. So he'd go out on a date, and this guy I used to date, Teddy, he's amazing. He's still one of my really great friends. And he's kind of helping me out with Kitty Chronicles here, and he's been wonders for me as far as all the things we've talked about. But with regard to dating, but he would say he'd go out on a date, and the date went great, and he liked her and everything, and then like Saturday night, and then Sunday morning, for whatever reason, he was like, nah. Like, really? What, why? He's like, I don't know. It's just something while I'm there during the date, everything was great. But now that I've gotten home and I've got to think and reflect about that date, I'm kind of like, yeah, well, she kind of did this, and
Take
I'm kind of not
the
that.
pause.
So I love that. The pause.
Take the pause.
Okay, I got to write that down.
Because you both need to go back, reflect. I mean, because you're all getting excited, like, oh, I like this person, so I think everything's going great, blah blah blah. I think you need that pause just to make sure that you don't
You're right.
that you don't overthink it too much, and just
right. So
and see if it actually is a real thing when you meet up again.
yes. So yes, and make the pause at least maybe a day, give it a 24 hours to kind of think about it.
Yeah.
But certainly it at the end of the day or after the date, within that 24-hour period, you do reach back out to this person either in the dating app or if you've exchanged numbers. Anymore, I exchange numbers. I didn't used to because but it's nowadays you can block. You can do
Yeah, but there's an app I heard. I heard a radio thing the other day. Was it radio or it was someplace that talked about you could sign up for a second number that you give out to people.
It's WhatsApp.
No, it's not WhatsApp.
It's not.
It's a different thing. I do have WhatsApp, but it's something else that you can give out as a second number. That if you don't like them, it's easy to block them or whatever, that type of thing. So that way, if it doesn't work out, then you have a way.
Yeah. So there's that option.
Because giving out your personal number may not always be the.
Well, okay, so let's go back to that. My reasoning for giving out my personal number usually, so case in point, this guy that I met doing my research, I did meet somebody. I wasn't going out there looking for it, but I did meet a guy. He lives a few hours away, and that's okay. But he was the one that answered my question absolutely beautifully. Yeah. Like any it went back with what do you like, and we just had this great banter. And I said, you know what, I'm going to give you my phone number because I'm not in this app very much. I wasn't expecting to meet anybody.
But wouldn't you like to be able to give them a different phone number that you can use versus your personal?
I think that's great. I think that's great. But I did this, thinking, okay, because if you text me during the day, I'm going to get it. And, I don't have to go into my Facebook app to go check and see if you. And by the time I've checked to see if you've responded to me, because I don't know, I had a nap hit me out of nowhere and whatever. But then maybe it's too late and you're not on the app, so then you're missing the volley. You know what I mean? You can't catch that back again. So that's why I say it's usually important, in my experience on dating apps, to, once you're there, get enough banter going back and forth. Spend 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe with this person and give them the effort, and then be like, okay, look, either let's exchange numbers with a secondary line or whatever. Let's take this off the dating app, and then we can either FaceTime, do what you say, those things, or we can call on the phone or whatever and actually talk. If those are your requirements that you need before that meet and greet. But that way you can make the meet and greet, like, I'm supposed to meet on Tuesday.
See, and here's the thing about using WhatsApp. I don't know what it is, but I remember hearing something that you should be cautious. If someone's like, hey, let's get off the dating app and talk on WhatsApp. I don't know why. But I'm sure there's a reason for it. That you should be careful of talking to somebody on WhatsApp. I heard it recently. I don't know why I heard it.
I think I've heard the same thing too. It's almost like Tinder. The WhatsApp is more of a sex-oriented, whatever, hookup culture thing.
I only have one friend on WhatsApp, and that's because he's in Scotland and he doesn't have Facebook. He's got off Facebook, so that's the only time we can really talk and stuff like that.
Right.
Not the guy I went to go see years ago.
Well, and the thing too,
I met him when I was on this trip, and he's a hot bass player.
I have a friend that she has some high security clearance, and where she works as a civilian, but government jobs. So a lot of them, she can't have a Facebook. So there's got to be other ways to do that. So I get it, but I think that's probably fair to say that the guideline there is have a good dating profile to get you to the match. Then from the match, start the engagement with something that is engaging, something that's going to create a banter. Hi, how's your day? what do you do for a living? I mean, those are things that you can talk about in the meet and greet. They're not things that you need to know ahead of time. What really do we need to know ahead of time? That's my point.
You're not
I
psycho?
need to know the stats. I need to know what you look like. If so,
Do
I
you
don't
have
waste
a
my
criminal-
time.
Do you have a criminal record?
You have well.
That's when we do background checks.
See, I do background checks once I'm interested in somebody. There's no point in doing background checks on somebody
Are
at a
you
meet and
married?
greet. Are you married? Are you right? So that's what we're dealing with out there, guys. And I'm sure there's women too. Look, I know I'm picking on you guys.
Women do it too.
Women do stuff like that too. We do, and so we, both sides have mucked it up for both sides.
And it doesn't always happen on dating apps. It can happen through Facebook and other social medias where
100%.
some people have reached out to people, and
or I love the text WYD. You know what that means. Especially if you haven't heard from them in a while. What are you doing?
What you doing? Yeah, but,
at midnight.
But it doesn't have to always be their dating.
No, I'm not going to booty call your ass. Yeah. No, sorry, that's not how that works. But again, and that might be fine for people, that want to do that. I'm all for. Listen,
I'm done.
Ladies, men, if you wanna do that, then more power to you. If that works for you,
if that makes you happy, it works for you. Great.
Great.
But like people,
I wish it worked for me. I wish I could make it that simple. But I want love. I want a partner. I want somebody, but I'm not going to settle for the dumpster shit that's out there right now. I'm just not. So right. You either guys and ladies fix it, or stop mucking it up. Okay, that's what we're here to try to help do.
I like having a boyfriend. I like having that one guy in my life.
Me too.
And so I love just that one person I give all my time and attention to, and everything else. I've dated people who date multiple people. I've tried to date multiple people. I hate it. I've dated two guys. I had a date one time, two dates in one night, and it was like, God, Jesus fucking Christ.
I love you, Kelly. You bring up very valid points. So let's talk about that.
It's hard to do 2 dates in one night.
With the dating, well, I did 3 in one day. Oh my God, I'll never do it again. But it just worked out that way. I had like a lunch, I had a happy hour, and then I had like a late dinner date. 3 guys in one from a dating app. It just worked out there. I will never do it again. But what's funny is that that you brought it up. Dating apps are great for you can be talking to multiple people, at the same time, because we're trying to find people, right? Like, so there's nothing wrong with that. The problem happens when you're actually going out on multiple dates, even in the same week, let's say, and I called it the totem pole. Then I'm trying to figure out on the totem pole, which guy is ranking based on the date I had, or whatever, if I had 2 or 3 dates in a day, or 2 or 3 dates in a week, or something like that. And while that's, what is it, quantity versus quality, right? You missing out on the quality.
Yes.
Because you're not focusing on that one person one at a time. So I've learned that for me, if I get off a dating app and I start talking to a guy, and we're going to get to the meet and greet, and we really, we're liking each other, we're digging it, I'm going to focus on him. And I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back into that dating app. And I will actually say to close, so I don't ghost, to close off the conversation, hey, it's nice talking to you. Maybe 2 or 3 guys that I'd be talking to at the same time. Like, it's nice talking to you, but I found somebody that I'm going to focus on for right now. And hey, if it doesn't work out, I'll be back on here.
Yeah.
So again, courtesy, being open and honest. So then I go off with that guy, and I give that guy 100% of my focus and attention. The problem with dating apps is that it's vending machine.
Yeah, you think the next thing's going to be better. You always like, well, what if the next one's better? And what if the next one's better? Guess what? Sometimes what is in front of you is the best thing you have.
Well, and back in the day when we were dating, without all these dating apps, you had proximity was of utmost importance, and you gave more effort and time into that person because
the The grass is not always greener, guys.
Well, and
And
the dating pool was real small because
Yeah.
it was people that were close to you, or somebody would introduce you to a friend of a friend, or dating apps have ruined that because they've opened up your circle to so people think that grass is either greener, or well, I didn't like this one little thing that she wasn't checking off or whatever. I've been talking to this other girl on the dating app for a little bit. Now I'm gonna pursue her or pursue that. And
and honestly, here's the thing. A relationship is only good what you put into it. Effort and honesty and everything like that. Grass is not always greener on the other side. You could go check out the other grass because it's been astroturfed or chemicalized or whatever. I realized, oh shit,
it's overprocessed grass.
This is not what I want.
It's not the kind that you smoke.
The overprocessed grass is killing me, and I need to go back to where I was. Well, then somebody else has picked that one up, anyways. But here's the thing, is what you seriously is what you put into it, is what the effort you put into it. So
you get out.
Water your own fucking grass, and it will be green.
Somebody told me what are you? It was great dating advice. What are you willing to give up to have the best relationship? All of us have to give up probably something. Nobody's perfect for us, and even if they're perfect for the first 6 months, that's just anyway, you know what I mean by that. But yeah, it's like, what are you willing to give up for your own happiness? That's what it was. It's like, you got to compromise with some people. You have
to overlook some things.
Right. And it takes effort to do that.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with my last boyfriend. The moment I heard him sing, I was like, oh shit.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, because I'm like, this is something
I've been told that too.
I have to make a decision right now. If I can accept it and ignore it, because I'm going to hear it for as long as I'm in this relationship, I'm going to hear that voice sing.
And you can forgive this if this is.
Yeah, can I ignore it? Yeah, like, okay, I made that a conscious effort, because I'm like, all right, he's not a very good singer, and it kills my ears, but I'm going to accept it, not complain about it, not say a goddamn word about it.
Yeah,
because there are other qualities about him that I do like a lot, and so I'm willing to overlook this, and I'm overlook this, and overlook
because
this,
you're getting this, which maybe other guys couldn't give you.
Yes.
So again, it's perspective, on the one hand, but it's also,
and it's always good to know early on in the relationship what you have to think in your head, going, I'm going to have to live with this the rest of my life. Can I live with this the rest of my life? And am I willing to ignore this the rest of my life and put up with it?
Right. So that's all down the road stuff that we're going to be talking about till we're blue in the face and to death. But we're going to have a good time talking about it, and we're going to bring a lot of people, on the podcast in Kitty's Corner to talk about that kind of stuff. So basically, the point that we're trying to make here is, in the interest of not wasting people's time, get to that banter. Get to where you're at least, and you either, while you're in the dating app, say, hey, are you available, and make it within the week. Are you, because people's short attention span, like if you don't ask me out, for a couple days after, I mean, we all are busy, but let's face it, folks, when somebody said, yeah, I was busy, no, you're not too busy for the right person. You're not ever too busy to put forth effort into finding someone or having someone if you already have someone. So if you're on a dating app and your purpose is to date, right? So why aren't you asking the person that you match with on a date? If you're scared, say you're scared. Whatever. I mean, just do it. You're gonna have to put forth that effort to getting what you want, and
we're getting old.
Getting your foot in the door. Again,
we're not getting younger. In the door. We're not getting younger.
No.
So you need to act, because
act now. Because if you wait a week, we're on to the next guy. I'll tell you, if I'm on a dating app and I'm staying on a dating app and you don't pull the trigger, I'm already talking to the next guy, or I'm already still finding more fish in the sea, swiping. You're going to lose your opportunity, and you could have lost your opportunity at somebody really great. You're gonna. What do they say? You gotta kiss a lot of frogs. On the one hand, yeah, you may have to do that. But that's why the meet and greet is so important. You're only spending a half an hour of your time and your miles on your car. Again, try to keep it. Even if somebody's like far away, meet them be willing to meet them in the middle if you're interested. But make that date, that meet and greet. Sorry, I need to stop calling it a date because a meet and greet is not a date. It's strictly a meeting in person.
It's just meeting, make sure that you are who you say you are, and if I want to go to the next step.
Right. So it doesn't take much of your time. It doesn't take any of your money if you don't want to. You simply buy yourself. You simply get a water, or you simply bring a water, or whatever.
You make it Dutch.
You could meet You could meet at a park bench out. You want to be safe, ladies. I get it. And men, you need to know we want to be safe because there's some scary people out there on dating apps, and so it's scary for us. And I'm sure it's scary for you. There's some crazy out there. I get it. Like, I've heard all about it. I think we all, men and women, can be crazy.
Yeah, we'll probably do like an episode of
the crazies.
The crazies and what to be careful about when you're dating.
Yeah, and on both sides.
Yeah.
Because, things turn in people, both people turn into stalkers, and that's not good.
And there's a very clear definition of what stalking is and what stalking is not.
Right.
Which we may cover that one day. We may not.
So the homework, again, for both men and women, just if you're on the dating app, just ask to meet that person ask questions. Like I said, you don't have to use my question, but you're more than welcome to, because it's a really fun question. Another question that a guy asked me was, if you can have 5. Because I'm music is very important to me. I'm a musician and I'm a singer. So he said, if you could have 5 bands at a rock concert, at a local rock concert, who would you have? And so that tells somebody, it was a fun question for me because, then we're bantering about, oh yeah, I like Scorpions and and Van Halen and Led Zeppelin. So then you're talking about music. So there was that one, and there was one more that
I used to book bands, so I could probably do that really easily.
Yeah, it's really easy. Well, music's very important to me, so if I have to be music compatible with my mate.
Yeah.
If not, we're gonna have issue. But I'm a lot all over the place. Anyway, so I can be pretty compatible. But I like my niche and all that. But the other question, crap, now I can't remember it. It was a 3. It was a 3. Oh. So the guy that I'm sort of talking to now, kind of cool. He asked me, tell me 3 things about yourself. 2 of them true and 1 of them not true. And that was fun. And then they have to guess. It's kind of hard, but they have to guess.
No, because
which one's true or not.
I know.
Well, again,
I've done those.
It's a suggestion.
Yeah, it's a suggestion. I've never liked those because I'm like, I put something up and people are like, that's a lie. Honestly, it's actually the truth.
But if you're leading with that, you're leading with a question that will lead to banter back and forth, at least for a little bit. That will get your juices flowing, so to speak, right? And then maybe you can segue into something else, like talking about music, or talking about, one of these crazy things that you said I would have thought was a lie, but it's actually true. Yeah. Oh, you do that? Oh, that's interesting. So you see what I'm saying? It gets the juices flowing. It gets the banter going back and forth. So ask a question rather than, hey, beautiful, or, how's your day is too broad. Ask something specific that's going to get you into the door to get to that meet and greet. So my homework for you guys, both men and women, just once you do that, ask to meet your match within 24 hours of matching or talking. Okay. So if you've had that banter, Say, hey, I'm not going to be on the app again till tomorrow after work or whatever. Would love to meet you. Let's get back here tomorrow and let's discuss, doing a meet and greet what your availability. Go to that, because otherwise you're wasting your time, you're wasting our time, and we ain't got time to waste, right?
Do not waste our time.
Don't do it. Bad baby, bad baby.
Bad.
Where's my paddle? Bad baby, bad baby. Okay. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and check us out next week, where we will be continuing cussing and discussing all the things dating do's and don'ts. Right, or else you're gonna get paddled. We paddle for don'ts. Anyway, so be your true, authentic self. Be upfront and honest, and always strive to do better, cats. Kitty kisses. Mwah.